is head coach Rich Rodriguez, and it's almost Christmas. Well, at least in football terms, it's almost Christmas because opening day is Saturday night when the Wildcats host Northern Arizona at the stadium kickoff set for 8 o'clock. This is one of the best weeks of the year, Coach, and you've been through this many times. The excitement, the build-up, do you still get those butterflies?
I do. I still get nervous, and it's what's really neat with our players. It's been a long camp, probably as long as it's been because of the new rules. So we've been at it probably another 3 or 4 days than normal, and they're ready for a game. They're tired of practicing against each other. We've had a good camp. It's been drama-free. The guys have worked hard, so time to tee it up.
To steal some old cliches, watching practice, you see a lot of guys flying around, a lot of athleticism out there. What's different about this team before game one?
I think the biggest difference for us certainly is there's more newcomers. There's 47 brand new guys to the program. I think all told is 63 freshmen, a redshirt freshmen. So there's some young athleticism, also a lot of teaching going on, and I'm really proud of the staff, really proud of the players, the way they've learned over the last 4 weeks, and we're anxious to see what we got. I think we're more athletic across the board, but particularly on defense.
Speaking of new players, just looking at your depth chart, there's about a dozen players on the defensive side, if I count correctly, that have not played a down of Division I football to this point. I'm sure there's some nervous energy there, but at the same time, obviously, you've put a lot of trust in those guys.
We did. It's a talented group, particularly at linebacker and in the secondary. We need to find more guys that can provide competition and, frankly, to improve our athleticism and get more guys ready to play. You know, the injuries have gotten us a little bit in the last couple of years and have limited our ability to play more people. Now we're going to force ourselves to play more people and give a lot of those young guys a shot. And the nice part about it is they've been very quick learners. You know, we kind of identified that in recruiting, that we wanted guys that love football and not like it, and the guys that love it will learn it. And I think we've got a bunch of those guys on defense and offense now.
Flipping over to offense, a lot of familiar names there. You got depth at quarterback, depth at running back, a lot of familiar names up on the offensive line. What has stood out so far?
Well, I think we've been able to do more offensively, scheme-wise, than we've been able to do in the past because of the experience of some of the quarterbacks and also with what we have up front coming back. You know, at running back, we had to stay healthy, in which we have been so far. Hopefully that'll be the case throughout the year. And then we got to break in a bunch of new wideouts because we lost 3 really good seniors from last year. Been really pleased with that. There's some guys that have been kind of waiting their turn, so to speak, at wide receiver, and now going to get a great opportunity.
What are you looking for out of the quarterback position? Anything specific?
Well, we wanted to be able to run more offense, frankly, with them. We've got guys that can run, and they can make all the throws too, but we wanted to run more of our offense. So we have put more in offensively, scheme-wise, than probably we've done any time in the past in August camp, and that was the challenge our quarterbacks mentally and physically, and I've been proud of the way they've handled it. You know, we still got to be able to execute certain things better, but with all the quarterbacks and as many as we've been given reps in practice, they've done a good job of learning.
How many players do you think might see the field Saturday night?
Well, our goal every year is to be able to have 22 to 24 on each side of the ball, and then have a handful of those guys obviously doing special teams too. So we've tried to get about 55 to 60 guys ready to actually play, not just run down on a kickoff one time, and we've done that with practice. We've looped a lot of guys in and out of there and gotten a lot of guys ready for game time.
All right, look forward to it. Cats and the Jacks Saturday night, season opener at the stadium kickoff at 8 o'clock. When we come back, we'll sit down with quarterback Brandon Dawkins. He'll tell us a little bit about his offseason and, well, what he's looking forward to. That's coming up next.
The Arizona Wildcats kick off the 2017 football season this Saturday, September 2nd, with Fan Appreciation Night and an exclusive bobblehead giveaway of NFL superstar Rob Gronkowski. Go to ArizonaWildcats.com/FB to buy your tickets and learn more about bringing home your own Gronk bobblehead, or call 621-CATS. Single game tickets start at just $12. Come out and support our Wildcats and bear down.
Touchdown, Arizona!
Time to get to know your Wildcat, and this week's guest is Brandon Dawkins, quarterback for the Wildcats, wears number 13. Anything significant? Some people would say, wait a minute, 13, that's an unlucky number.
Yeah, some people would say. Kind of growing up, my thing was my jerseys, the kind of font I had back in the day when I was younger, the 13, it kind of looked like a letter B. So B for Brandon, I kind of just rolled with it.
Okay. What do you like best about football?
The competitive nature of it, I'd say. That's probably my most favorite part about it. Just to be able to go out there and compete. You know, there's a lot of sports, you know, like boxing where it's kind of one-on-one, you know, things like that. Like you're in there by yourself in that ring. But With football, you know, it takes all 11 people on your side of the ball to be clicking on all cylinders to be able to execute and get the goal. And that's kind of my favorite part about it. It's the most fun is just, you know, when the offense for me is executing and my other 10 guys on the field are, you know, smiling and having fun in the end zone.
Take us through your football career. You can go back as long as you want. What positions have you played?
Ooh. I started off, I was a receiver for 1 year because I was kind of trying to figure out what football is. And then after that, I switched to running back, played running back for probably a good like 2 or 3 years. And then I was kind of like a foot taller than everybody else my age. And they're like, you know what? I think we're going to have to switch positions. And then ended up putting me at quarterback. And kind of right away, I kind of just fell in love with it. You know, the leadership role that's kind of assumed with it. And, you know, just being able to be the, you know, the guy on your team that, you know, is kind of the, you know, focal point. You know, I kind of always loved being the offensive curator, and that's kind of why I love this offense so much. Is so much of it is dependent on you. It's kind of the ball's in your hand, and there's always, you know, you can, you know, give it to one of the running backs, or you can keep it yourself and run it, or you can, you know, throw it to one of the receivers. And there's always just so many different options of what you can do, and you're kind of the curator out there handling what happens. So it's kind of my favorite part about it.
For those who have watched you, they obviously know that you are not afraid of contact, that you enjoy running the football. Does that go back to some of that running back background that you had, or has that just always been part of your game?
That might just be just my competitive nature, you know. Obviously, I can be a little smarter about some of the hits I take, but you know, when I have the ball in my hand and I'm running downfield, the only thing in my mind is trying to, you know, cross that end zone. I'm not worried about who's in my way. I'm just making sure I'm trying to, you know, make people miss or run through them or do whatever I have to put points on the board for my team.
Do you ever look over at Coach after you've run the ball and he's shaking his head like, "Come on, Brandon, why'd you do that?"
He has a little stronger words than that, but I've looked over a couple of times and seen him, you know, having a couple words with himself.
All right. Bucket list of places you'd like to visit somewhere in your lifetime.
Oh, I've always wanted to go to Bora Bora. I always see the pictures of like the little tiki huts on the water,
yeah.
And I'm just like, man, that would be a cool place to go. Also, I've always wanted to go to Australia though, but I'm not a big fan of like bugs and like spiders and stuff, and they got like big ones over there.
Yeah.
I'd go to the city though. I'd
Okay.
be cool in the city over there.
All right.
It'd be a lot of fun.
All right. Do you get a chance to watch TV at all on a regular basis?
Oh, I love watching TV. It's kind of like my thing when I'm away from football. I get a little bit of time myself, you know, go home and just turn the TV on and, you know, find a show I enjoy or a movie or something I can watch and kind of just try and tune out.
Is there some favorite that you gravitate to that you don't want to miss?
Favorite show? I'd say Rick and Morty. It's kind of like a newer cartoon, but it's kind of like one of those, you know, older humor kind of shows. And it's hilarious. I love everything about it. And there's actually a new season that's out right now, and it comes out every Sunday. So there's a new episode out tomorrow, and I can't wait to see it.
Are you one of those guys that listens to music before the game?
Yeah, I listen to music before the game. Yeah.
Is there
I'm
anything
one
in
of those guys.
particular? Do you have a certain playlist that you like before the game, or anything that comes up?
Not so much, you know. I just like to kind of, you know, whatever kind of vibe I'm feeling. You know, sometimes I'm, you know, listening to some Michael Jackson or, you know, listening to, you know, one of the newer artists nowadays. But, you know, whatever I can, you know, listen to that, you know, is putting me in a good mood. You know, I try not to. Some of the people like to listen to, you know, crazy stuff and get all like, you know, tensed up and ready to go. But for me, you know, I like to try and stay loose and as, you know, fun as possible. You know, as long as I can listen to something I can, you know, dance to a little bit or, you know, catch a vibe to and have a good time and, you know, stay loose. You know, that's kind of what I'm listening to.
Did you have a boyhood hero in or out of football?
Not really, you know. I've never really had, you know, much of a hero. Other than, you know, my parents, you know, there's nobody I've really ever looked up to other than them.
All right. He is Brandon Dawkins, quarterback for the Wildcats, as we meet your Wildcats.